Hello, all. This is Mary's Brighter in the building. Mary's Brighter in the motherfucking building, y'all. I'm back at it again. But right now I'm currently eating. I'm eating some fried scrambled eggs with salted peppers and shrimp over boiled plantains. Man, when I tell you guys, oh my god, this food is for lepashandis. This food is bad. But let me tell you guys a story, man. I used to be a Lekbashandi. Yes, I was a Lekbashandi. I was always skinny since like forever. You know, I came to America at the age of 11 years old, and I weighed only 80 pounds. Going to middle school was my first education as I landed America. And middle school, sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, whoo, at Bossy Middle School in Garland, Texas. That school bullied me. When I tell you, man, I was bullied because I was so skinny. I didn't have breasts, I didn't have hips, I didn't have butt. I was flat. But all my Nigerians know what I mean when I say lekpashandi. I was a lekpashandi. In Nigeria, that is actually something that is so sexy. When you're skinny like that, oh, that's so sexy in Nigeria. But here in America, man, all the fat people, they were the ones who bullied me when it came to my weight. They bullied me. They would call me anorexic. They would call me all these, stick figure names. Some of them will even say I'm a boy, that I look like a boy. I was shaped like a boy. But most of the bullying, honestly, came from fat people. So eventually, when all the bullying was hurting me, man, I said, man, fuck this shit. So the minute I get another bully me, I said, well, you shut your fat ass up. I started having a voice because I felt like, it was only fat people that were the ones bullying me. I didn't get any other bully from nobody else. Matter of fact, other friends that I had, they made me feel beautiful, things like that, because we were like, kind of like the same shape, small and, maybe short. But I always got bullied by like obese, people that you can tell that you're not supposed to be this fat in this grade. You are in sixth grade and you look like you're 180 pounds, you know. But at that age, I didn't see it like that, how I see it now. I just saw that, why is there always this fat people? It's always the fat ones. Why are you always bullying me? So eventually I got bold and I said, you know what? If they've bullied me one more time, me too, I'm gonna target their weight. I'm gonna call them fat, obese. And then the moment I realized, when I started doing that back, in retaliation to their abuse, I realized that it hurt them too. It almost felt like it hurt them more than the insults that they were giving me was hurting me. I was hurt. It was a little bit like, okay, hurtful and, attack to my self-esteem because me, I've always been a very confident girl. Oh, I've always been very confident because it's in you. We have all these good attributes in us. It's just life, and Satan, he comes to steal all those good fruits and attributes that we were born with. So then, later on you're calling yourself lies, oh, I'm this, I'm that, when God has called you, beautiful. So anyway, I will always bully them too. I say, you shut your fat ass up. Okay, so you so fat you can't even pass through the door. They will be bullying me, I'll be bullying them. So eventually they, I could tell that they were getting hurt because their retaliation on the insults that they would, say to me was not even, it was weak. Mine was like, I went for the jugular. So at that age, at middle school, that's when I knew the importance of my voice, and I knew like, oh wow, when it comes to war, I will always win. Because And it didn't matter how big those girls were. Excuse me. Eventually, the insults that they were throwing my way were weaker insults than the ones that I was able to give them naturally. And most importantly, what really pissed them off is every time I gave my own insults, my laugh was so, I mean, I would laugh and laugh even if I didn't have a crowd to laugh with me. It was always me against them, and maybe they'll have a crowd or friends, but me, I've always kind of rolled on my own, even though girls always liked me to be in their groups and all these things in middle school. I was always a one of one type of person. I never really. So, I would always insult them back. But that's when I knew, like, oh, it didn't matter what giants, they might be giants, but I was always the winner. I was always the best fighter. I was always the smartest fighter, because, yeah, I knew from the type of insults that I gave them in return. Oh, yeah, I think it probably took them years to recover from the insults that I gave them back in return, because you just don't come and play with me, because I just came from Nigeria at that sixth grade. I was 11 years old in Nigeria, where I was, how I was raised. I didn't really have anybody, even in school, bully or talk down on my weight or even how I looked. I don't think Nigerians do that. Like at that age, before teenage years, they take their children to good schools. They make sure the kids are learning proper English. I mean, we're doing everything to try to build a child's self-esteem. Then maybe after teenager and you can see that, okay, now they're becoming adults. Now maybe they can start doing like a forceful type of home training. But preteen, we're just kids. They're feeding us. I mean, we're just kids. People in the school came for a purpose to learn. That we didn't. There wasn't free time to be bullying and all these things. America was the first place I ever learned about bullying and even gotten bullied. I never was bullied in Nigeria of my weight or how I looked or my skin or nothing like that. But when I came here at 11 years old, I was in sixth grade, and all they were just doing was bully, bully, bully from left, right. So I found my voice in sixth grade. So I say all of this to say, you have to find your voice. Me, I found my voice early. Sixth grade was when I think I became a young lady. Now at the age of 33 years old, I am a woman. But, you know, at 11 years old, sixth grade, I was a young lady because that was when I found my voice. I stood up to giants, brought them low to the point that they got beneath my feet, and I was able to rise up, use them as footstools to just rise up because every time, even later in life, I would always still meet the same type of people, the same type of bully, fat people. Maybe, where I work in my workplace, they will try to bully me. It's always fat people. Always. I don't find, people that's my size or, smaller bully me. They don't. We just maybe look at each other. Maybe we just even ignore each other. But honestly, we are like nice to each other. Hey girl, hey girl, hey friend, hey friend. But it's usually those fat girls that just, I don't know if I attract them or what. I don't know. But me, I'm nice to everybody. So, if you're nice to me, I will be nice to you. So, but they will just be, bully, 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 in my workplace now, but I've already set them straight a long time ago. I found my voice in sixth grade, thanks to the bullies. So honestly, I appreciate you, all the fat girls out there. I appreciate you. You have really, really been, something in my life. I used you to be a footstool because what the enemy meant for evil, God turned for my good. So I'm still watching my